It's nice to see you, Mrs Hein. Thanks for coming and joining us again.
You're very welcome. It's nice to see you too, Brady.
I'm just going to explain to the people who are listening, when I was in Australia a little while ago, we filmed a special quiz with Mrs Hein, but I completely mucked up the recording. I made a really bad mistake with the sound. I didn't press a button I should have pressed, and as a result, the sound is really bad, and we decided it was too bad to release to the public. But we had so much fun doing the quiz, we asked you to do it again. So now you've come to Tim's office and we're recording via Zoom, even though I'm back in England now. That's right, isn't it?
Okay.
This is... Yeah. Mate, you have to talk to the nice man on the screen there, Mum. That's part of the deal here.
Yeah, that's right. That's right, Brady.
Do you remember Brady? Remember I went to school with Brady and we do a podcast and... Yeah.
Yeah, I remember Brady. He does look a little bit older.
6 months, so... Yeah.
You look exactly the same as you did 20 years ago, Mrs Hein.
Thank you. That's very nice of you to say that.
So I have made a new quiz. Many of the questions are the same as last time. So if your memory is good enough, you might get some answers that you didn't get last time. But I've got a feeling you're not going to remember the questions very well. Am I right?
I'll remember some.
Okay.
Mum's been actually trying to remember some, thinking that you're going to be asking some trick questions or difficult ones. Mum, what's the one you've been texting me about for the last 24 hours? You're wanting to know?
About the flower of, what's the name of that country?
Well, I can't tell you, Mum. You're about to do a quiz.
It's time for the quiz. It's time for the quiz.
Oh.
Mrs Hein, the first category of questions I'm going to ask is farm animals. Do you think you know a lot about farm animals?
I think so. I'll have a go.
Why would you know about farm animals?
Well, because I grew up on a farm.
Whoa, this should be easy for you.
Where was your farm, Mum?
Nanagoon.
Nice.
In South Gippsland.
Okay, here's the first question. Can you name for me 4 famous horses? I want the names of 4 horses. They can be real horses. They can be fictional horses from books or movies. I want the names. They could be race horses. I want the name of 4 horses.
That we had on the farm.
No, just from the world. They could be, famous around the world, famous in Australia. Just name 4 horses that have names.
Or from a film, Mum. What 4 horses do you know from films?
Black Beauty. And then there's Phar Lap. He was very old. Yes.
Who was Phar Lap? What was Phar Lap?
Phar Lap was a famous racehorse.
Very famous.
Black Beauty, that's a film. Oh, I can't think of the others.
What are some films that you like that have got horses in them? Maybe that you watch with your granddaughters?
Yes. What was the name of that?
They say they had to sit through hundreds of them with you, Mum.
Yes, I know. This is so difficult. Not Trixie, no.
Well, I think Trixie is the name of one of your horses on the farm when you grew up.
Yes.
I mean, we'll be famous after this episode comes out, but not so famous at the moment.
Yeah, if you had a horse called Trixie, who am I to say what's famous? You can have Trixie. That was one of your horses on the farm.
Billy, and we had Trixie, and they were on the farm. Oh, that one I know. I used to watch with the girls all the time. Brady, I've forgotten.
Brady, that's right, correct. It was called Brady.
Well, no, you got 4 points because you gave me Black Beauty, Phar Lap, and Trixie and Billy from your farm. So you get 4 points.
Oh, well done.
Oh, good. Well done.
Tim, what horse came into your mind? Any horses come into your mind?
Well, there's Seabiscuit, and there's the Black Stallion, and the Black Stallion Returns, the sequel movie.
The Black Stallion Returns. Okay, Mrs Hein, here comes another question for you. I want you to name for me 2 breeds of cow.
Guernsey, Jersey, Ayrshire. That's 3.
Oh,
You right?
Yeah. Job done. Job done. Oh, that was too easy, that question. And here's a final question for you about farm animals. I want you to tell me what type of animal has breeds that are called New Hampshire Red, Orpington, and White Leghorn.
Cows. They're cows.
oh.
No.
Have we got it wrong button, man? Like an or a
Yep, I'll sort that out.
nice,
Yeah.
good.
Oh, white leghorn. Oh, chooks.
They're chickens, that's right.
Chickens, yes,
Chickens.
that's right.
Ah, I thought that would be a good clue for you.
Yes.
Okay, are you ready for the next section? The next section is about the Queen. And when I say the Queen, I mean Queen Elizabeth II, not the current Queen. Because I know you love Queen Elizabeth II.
Should we stand for this round, Mum, you think, out of respect? Would that be the right thing to do?
I miss the Queen.
She was lovely.
Yeah.
Are you ready for some questions? Do you think you know a lot about the Queen?
Depends on the question you're going to ask.
Okay, here we go. What was the name of the Queen's father?
King George VI.
Oh, look at that. You are good at this. How about this? How old was the Queen when her father died? Which is when she became the Queen.
Yeah,
she was quite young, wasn't she? But
she was overseas. I think she was only 21, I think.
21, you think?
21 or 22.
You're going to go with 21?
Or 22. I'm not quite sure. I know she was quite young.
She was in Africa, wasn't she, when her father
Yeah.
died and she got the message?
Yeah. She was not long married.
She was 25.
Ah, 25. There you go.
Okay.
Mum, do you remember how old you were at the time if she was 25?
Well, I was born in 39, so that would have made me... Oh, I was quite young, really.
So you were about 10 years younger than her, weren't you?
Yes, that's true. Yeah.
So she's 52. 52, I think, was the death of
So
the
I
king.
would have been
She was
about-
coronated in 53. So
I would have been about
you just would have been-
15, wouldn't I?
Let me ask you this. What was the name of the Queen's only sibling, her younger sister?
Princess Margaret.
Correct. Oh, look at that. Here's a harder one. What was the Queen's childhood nickname among her close family? What did her close family call her?
Libby.
I'll give you that. Lilibet.
Elizabeth. Yeah.
Lilibet.
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 Yeah, that's right.
That's right. Which is the name that Meghan and Harry have now given one of their daughters.
Yeah, that's right. Their little girl. Yeah.
Okay. How old was the Queen when she died in 2022? How old was the Queen when she died?
She was she 99?
She was 96.
96.
The Duke of Edinburgh was 99. Her husband died at 99.
That's
but she
right,
was
he
96.
was. Yes, that's right.
Mum, did you cry when the Queen died?
Yes, I did.
Did you? How come?
Yes, I did.
Are you crying now, Mum?
Why?
No, I'm not crying now. But well, I did because, I saw her grow up and she was a beautiful girl and a beautiful woman. She had a real faith in God. She was just a beautiful person. I think she did well because she didn't ask to be the Queen. I mean, that was just because of the family situation. And I think she just did it very, very well. Everybody loved the Queen all over the world.
Mrs. Hein, some people think Australia should become a republic and not have the British royal family anymore. How do you feel about that?
I've heard that a lot lately. That's been on the news a lot lately. Well, it's sort of debatable, isn't it? There's two sides to it. Some people think now that the Queen's dead that they'd prefer to have an Australian to be head of Australia. But then who do you choose? It's
How about Tim?
It's a big decision, isn't it?
Would you like to have been the queen or even a princess?
No, I don't think so.
Why not?
I guess I like my privacy too much to be in that public arena.
Well, I hate to tell you, this podcast is going to be listened to by possibly tens of people, so...
That's why I'm a bit nervous this time, Brady.
Next, I have some questions for you about Australia.
Okay.
You mentioned that you were from a town in Australia called Narnagoon.
Yes.
According to the last census, which was done in the year 2021, how many people live in Narnagoon?
I think it was a few thousand, wasn't it?
I don't know. You want to give me... If you get it within 500, I'll give you a point. What number do you want to go for?
I can't remember.
Think about it and estimate, Mum. Think about the town now.
1,000?
The correct answer is 1,023. So you were incredibly close. You definitely get a point for that.
Oh, thank you.
Mum, does that feel like more people than were there when you were a little girl?
Oh, yes, a lot more. It was a very small town.
Was it a nice place to grow up?
It was a lovely little town to grow up. I went there to the state school to grade 8, and it was a lovely town. I was very involved in the community. I had a girls' club that I organised, and yes, it was a very, very lovely town. Because I was the kindergarten teacher, I was well known, and so I was very involved in the community.
I find it hard to imagine you as a kindergarten teacher.
What makes you say that? What makes you say that?
I was making a joke.
I thought that might be a joke. One taxi driver the other day asked me what did I do when I worked, and I told him a kindergarten teacher. He said, I can imagine you, Dawn, being a kindergarten teacher.
Okay, so when Tim was born in 1976, who was the Prime Minister of Australia?
In 1976. Would that be John Howard? No, not sure, Brady.
Tim, do you want to chime in on this one? Who do you think it was?
Malcolm Fraser.
Oh,
It was Malcolm Fraser.
I was wondering Malcolm Fraser or, John Howard. Yeah.
Well, John Howard didn't become Prime Minister for a long time after that, but he was Malcolm Fraser's treasurer. So he was sort of the second in charge at the time.
Right.
Final question about Australia. I want you to tell me, what is the official flower of Australia? The floral emblem.
Wattle?
It is. It is the golden wattle. Correct. Well done. Now, I have some questions for you about the Bible.
Oh, here we go. This is dangerous here, Mum, because knowing about the Queen's one thing, but knowing about God is almost as important.
I'll do my best to remember.
Remember, God is watching.
And listening.
And listening. If Brady's got the sound right, yeah. All right. So, can you name for me, and don't feel bad about this because we all know Tim can't do it, how many of the 12 apostles can you name?
Oh, I know a song about that. There were 12 disciples Jesus taught to help him. Simon, Peter, Andrew, James, his brother John, Philip, Thomas, Matthew, James, the son of Alphaeus. How many is that? How many did you want?
I reckon that's like 9.
I've got 8, I think.
1, 2, 3, 4. I think 8 or 9
And
already.
Bartholomew.
And what about the baddie? What about the traitor?
Judas.
That's incredible.
That's pretty good. That's even better than me.
I think maybe you didn't do Thaddeus, maybe?
We used to sing that with the children in Sunday school.
When we did this quiz last time and I mucked up, I asked you that question and you didn't sing that song and get anywhere near as many. So you've just pulled that out. You remembered it this time, but not last time.
Memory's a funny thing, isn't it?
Yeah. Here's another one for you. I want you to name as many books of the Bible as you can that start with the letter P.
P.
Why don't you name some books of the Bible? Because you're quite good at this as well.
Well, Old Testament or New Testament? There's Philemon.
Both. Yes.
Philemon of books of the Bible. Ephesians. Oh, no, that's not starting with. Philippians.
Yeah, well done.
Yes.
Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, Acts, Romans, Corinthians, Galatians, Ephesians, Philippians. Let me see. The Old Testament, Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy, Joshua, Judges, Ruth, 1st and 2nd Samuel, 1st and 2nd Kings, Chronicles, Ezra, Nehemiah, Esther, Job, Psalm. Oh, they're the only ones I can think of.
Well, keep going.
Keep going. There's a
Esther,
couple of famous
Job.
ones in
Esther,
the Old
Job,
Testament.
Psalms, yeah.
Yes.
Psalms.
And then?
Psalms, Esther, Job, Psalms. Well, I said Philemon, didn't I?
Yes.
Esther, Job, Psalms. No, I can't think of any more. Starting with P.
Tim, you want to chime in with any here to help out?
After Psalms comes...
Oh, Peter. No,
Oh, yeah, no, very
Yes.
good.
Peter.
Yeah.
Peter. There are actually 2 Peters as well, so I'm going to give you 2 points for that.
Yeah.
There's only one more. There's only one more you haven't got.
It comes after Psalms, Mum.
Psalms.
Psalms and
No, I can't think. Psalms and...
Proverbs.
Oh, Proverbs, of course.
Still, you did very well. 5.
Nice
Finally,
work.
this isn't a Bible question, but it sort of fits in. Do you know the name of the current Pope?
Oh, the current Pope now. Is it Pope John? No.
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 I'll give you a clue. It starts with an F.
F. Francis.
Yes, it is Francis. I'll give you half a point because you got it wrong the first time, but then you got it. Okay, I'm now going to ask you some questions about sport. Do you like sport?
Well, when I was younger, I used to play basketball and tennis when I was younger.
Oh, you know Tim plays tennis. You should have a game against him sometime.
Yeah, I've got my football team, but of course now I don't play any sport.
Okay, well, let me ask you this. In Australian football, in the AFL, which team won the premiership in the year 2000?
The year 2000.
Yeah.
Was that Essendon?
It was Essendon, your team.
I thought it might
Well
have
done.
been.
Well done. Now, here's a question for you about swimming. When Tim became the school swimming champion, which you missed because you weren't there to watch and you missed his biggest sporting moment,
That's right.
what year was that?
How old were you, Tim? About...
Well, that would give it away, Mum. I can't give it away.
Okay. Oh, I don't remember what year,
Do you remember when it happened?
but yes, I do remember when it happened. You must have been, were you 14 or something?
So what year?
No, I can't remember what year.
No. Are you sad that you missed it?
Well, I went to so much of the school activities where parents attended, so I don't think he was probably more disappointed than me.
You came to so many things where I lost. So I can understand why you gave up on me.
Tim, do you know what year it was?
I assume it was 1993, wasn't it?
It was. As etched into the medal.
Right.
I mean, I don't want to have to drive to the Aquatic Centre at North Adelaide and have a look at the pendant hanging up there, but...
The honour board.
I think you might be having me on. There's no...
They're rebuilding that Aquatic Centre at the moment. I wonder if it'll be named in my honour after that. It was a big day.
Okay, here's another sport question. There's a famous stadium in Australia where they play football and cricket called the MCG. What does MCG stand for?
The Melbourne Cricket Ground.
Correct.
Mum, when was the first time you went to the MCG? Do you remember going there?
I think when I went, first time I went, was probably when Billy Graham came out here.
What year was that? Do you remember?
Well, that'd be in the 50s, wouldn't it?
Wow.
Yeah, in the 50s, I think.
What do you remember about that? Billy Graham, of course, being like a famous preacher. Were there lots of people there?
Ah, yes, there were, yeah.
Was he a good preacher?
Wonderful. We all miss Billy Graham. My age, you know, he used to have high respect for him.
Do you feel you kind of get to hear Billy Graham almost every Sunday?
Pardon?
Well, coming to Melbourne Uniting, do you feel like you get to hear Billy Graham pretty much every Sunday?
Well, I don't know about that,
Oh,
but I do know that I really enjoy Tim preaching. I really do enjoy it. And I've told him how much I enjoy his preaching.
just not my swimming.
There we go.
think-
Going back to swimming.
Did you think Billy Graham was handsome?
I've never thought of him in that way.
Oh, come on, Mum.
He's good looking. Yeah, he was good looking. Yeah.
All right, I have another sport question for you. In cricket, what does LBW mean? If someone in cricket says LBW, what does that mean?
Leg before wicket.
Correct! I didn't think you'd get that.
No, I didn't know you knew that, Mum. That's great.
There you go. I'm full of surprises, Brady.
All right. Last sports question. A few months ago, when Brady came to Australia, he and Tim played a game of tennis in Unley. Who won?
You did, Brady.
Oh, how do you know that?
You were skiting about beating Tim at tennis. I remember.
You didn't come and watch that one either. You didn't miss much.
I think Tim's improved since then. I've heard that he's becoming really good.
Where did you hear that, Mum?
Ah, that's for me to know and for you to find out.
Okay. The next section is about science and sunflowers.
I'm glad I'm not doing this round. That doesn't sound like a strong suit of mine.
Can you name for me 3 of the planets in the solar system? 3 planets in the solar system.
Mars, Pluto, and would stars and sun be in that?
You wouldn't call the sun a planet. It is part of the solar system, but the sun is like the centre of the solar system, and the planets go around the sun.
Oh, I can't think of the other one.
You've been to one of them, Mum.
You're on one right now.
Oh, Earth.
That was a long moment. The look Mum gave me when I said that she'd been to one of the planets was one of the most perplexing, disappointing looks.
Do you know what I was thinking of? I was thinking of when the man arrived on the moon and I was flying to New Guinea, July 69. I was thinking of that when Tim said, "You've been to one." I thought, no, that doesn't fit that.
Papua New Guinea's on Earth, Mum.
Yes, that's right.
That's right.
Yes, that's right.
So you were, when the famous moon landing happened and everyone in the world was watching that famous moment, you weren't watching it because you were on a plane to Papua New Guinea.
I was on a plane on the way to Port Moresby, yes.
Well, my next question is about that. My next question is, do you know the name of the first man who walked on the moon?
Armstrong?
Nice.
Correct. You're absolutely nailing it today, Mrs Hein. By the way, for people bouncing off the walls at home, I gave Mrs Hein Pluto. Pluto is not technically a planet, but I think it is a planet, so I'm giving it.
I never know about this. I hear, because through you, I hear it's sometimes a planet and sometimes it's not. What is it? It's a rock out there, but it's not big enough to be a planet, man?
It's not big enough and it hasn't cleared its orbit. There's a few different definitions you use to go from being a rock or a minor planet or an asteroid up to a planet. And Pluto is kind of a grey area. And the people who decide these things had an official vote. And they officially voted, no, Pluto's not a planet. But I grew up with Pluto as a planet, and I'm staying with it.
It's kind of the Bartholomew of the solar system, really.
That's one way of putting it.
Okay. According to the Guinness Book of Records, how tall was the tallest ever sunflower? You can give it to me in feet or metres, because they get really tall, sunflowers, don't they?
Yes, I know. We used to grow them at Marion when we lived there.
Mm-hmm. What's the tallest one you ever had?
The tallest, probably my husband Jerry, he used to grow them. And I think that'd be, some of them I think were about 8 feet tall.
Okay. What do you think the tallest one ever is in feet? The record. It was in Germany.
In Germany, was it? Oh, I wouldn't have a clue, Brady.
If you get it within 2 feet, I'll give it to you.
12 feet?
It was 30 feet and 1 inch.
Really?
Yep. That's over 9 metres.
Oh, I've never heard that. Goodness, yeah.
Okay, now here's one for you. What Dutch painter, I know you like Dutchmen, what Dutch painter is famous for painting sunflowers?
Oh, yes. Van Gogh?
Correct.
Oh, wow.
You're on fire tonight, Mrs. Hein.
I didn't know you'd heard of any painters, Mum.
Ah, yes.
Wow.
I think in Marion, I think I used to have a little photo of his painting. It got
I
lost
thought you were
on
going
the
to say
way.
you had a Van Gogh. I was like, wow.
It's got lost along the way with all my shifts.
All right. Final question about sunflowers. You knew this was coming. What country has the sunflower as its national flower? Like Australia has the wattle. What country has the sunflower?
Oh,
Is this the one you were worried about?
the country that Russia's fighting.
Yes.
Oh, what is it?
Okay, well, Mum thinks. Mum, I just need to insert here that Mum's been texting me about this, and I've been blowing her off going, don't be ridiculous, Mum. Brady won't ask questions like that. There'll be new questions. There'll be other questions. And Mum's like, oh, okay, I'm a bit nervous. And now here we are.
What does it start with?
You.
You know the
Ukraine.
answer.
Ukraine.
Yeah, that gave it away.
Correct.
Well done.
Correct.
I can't
Well
believe
done.
that came up. Unbelievable.
Oh. Tim said you
This
wouldn't
next
be
section-
asking that, and I've written it down, and it's on a piece of paper in my bag sitting next to me here. I should have had
That
the
sounds
piece
like
of paper
cheating.
here.
She didn't look at it.
No, I didn't.
This next section is about people called Dawn. I want to know what female swimmer born in 1937 won 4 Olympic gold medals.
Oh, Dawn. Dawn. Yeah, I know. Dawn. Oh, I know her as well as anything.
Yeah. Second most famous Dawn in Australia.
Yes, I know. Dawn. Not
What is it with swimmers? You just have no time for them. Me, this Dawn, my goodness me.
Dawn. Oh, do you know I've forgotten? Not Dawn Lake, is it? No.
No. I'll give you a clue.
Okay.
It's the same last name as the Prime Minister we talked about earlier.
The same last name.
Hmm.
Oh, dear.
The one who was Prime Minister when Tim was born.
Oh, I've forgotten, Brady. Sorry.
Dawn Howard. No, sorry.
No, it's not Dawn Howard. Dawn.
It was Dawn Fraser.
Dawn Fraser. Oh, I missed that one.
Do you know the name of an English actress and comedian who was born in 1957? She's in lots of TV shows, and her first name is Dawn.
Dawn French.
Yes, well done. You are absolutely nailing it tonight, Mrs. Hein.
I didn't know you knew who Dawn French was, Mum.
No, where's all this coming from?
All this pop cultural trivia that you've got stored up there. I want to ask you, what was the name of the first Pearl Jam album, Mum?
This is like watching Carey on Sale of the Century.
When did Guns N' Roses get back together, Mum?
Sale of the Century isn't on now.
I'm going to ask you some questions about books. Who wrote possibly your favourite book after the Bible, Anne of Green Gables?
Oh, Anne of Green Gables. Who wrote it? Oh, yeah, I should know that, shouldn't I? I didn't research that before I came on, Brady.
No.
Anne of Green Gables. My favourite book and film. Oh, I can't remember, Brady.
Do you know this, Tim?
No, I have no idea.
It was Lucy Maud Montgomery.
Oh, no, I wouldn't have remembered that, no.
In what country is Anne of Green Gables set? Where did she live? What country?
Canada.
Correct. And finally, C.S. Lewis, probably one of Tim's favourite writers, and I know a writer you respect as well. What does C.S. stand for in C.S. Lewis?
Is it Clive? Samuel, is it?
It's Clive.
It's Clive.
Well
yeah.
done.
I can't
I'll
remember
give you a point
the
for
S.
that.
Clive. Yeah.
You don't know what the S is, though?
I thought it was Sam, but it's not. It's a funny name, like, I can't remember.
Staples. Clive
Yeah.
Staples Lewis.
Yeah, Staples. See, I wouldn't have remembered that.
I nearly pointed to the stapler on my desk over there, but I thought that would be cheating.
Okay. Our final section is about what is possibly your favourite subject of all, and that is Tim, your son.
Yes?
What is Tim's birth date?
28th of April, 76.
Correct. What day of the week was that when Tim was born? On what day of the week was Tim born?
I think it might have been a Wednesday.
Yes. It was much funnier when you tried to get this the first time. You guessed it correctly last time. You remembered this
That
time.
was cheating, I remembered.
You remembered it. I didn't think you'd remember, so fair enough. If you remember that from a few months ago, you deserve the point. What Mr. Men character did Tim dress up as in primary school?
Oh, I think this was for Book Week.
For Book Week. Mr. Big, was it? Mr.
Oh,
I'm the one who wants to be with you. No, it wasn't Mr. Big.
Oh, it was a square box, wasn't it?
yes.
It was a square box, not Mr. Big.
What colour was it?
I think it was red.
Yes.
Yeah,
A red square box.
a red square box. Yeah, Mr.
First name Mr. Last name.
It was a big square box and it was red. And it was one of the Mr. Happy? No?
No, it was Mr. Strong.
Oh, Mr. Strong. Oh, that's right. Yeah, Mr. Strong.
Are you ready for the final question?
Yes, I'm ready.
Yeah,
Okay.
are you still nervous, Mum, even after all these questions?
I'm not going to say.
All right.
What's the final
know.
question?
You named your son Timothy. I want to know what the word Timothy means. What is the meaning of the name Timothy?
Faithful.
Well, it's not what my research dug up, but
That's
who am I to say?
that's what
What
it
do you
is
think your
in
name?
the Bible. Timothy, the book,
Yeah?
faithful. Yeah.
I never really remember this, and when you Google, a few things come up, but I've always remembered it. I think I had a mug, didn't I, when I was young, that had
Yeah.
sort of Timothy in the definition, and I thought it was faithfulness or
Yeah, faithfulness.
something
yeah.
like that.
It is.
It comes from the Greek Timotheus, meaning honouring God or God's honour.
Oh, right. Well, that's faithfulness, yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
at least it's not unfaithfulness. That would have been.
That would be bad.
Honouring God. Right.
Mrs. Hein, I can't believe how well you did. You absolutely nailed that quiz. It was incredible. I hope we've recorded the sound so people can hear how amazing you are at quizzes.
Oh, thank you, Brady. I wish I could remember more things, but I'm noticing the older I get now, I forget things, you know.
Yeah.
Some things I remember, but yeah.
If you were to go on a quiz show and you had to pick a subject that you were an expert at and you were just going to be asked questions about that subject, what do you think you would choose?
Well, probably the easiest would be the Bible or the faith in God. Or secular, I would probably choose... I haven't really thought about it, Brady. Perhaps I might choose children's welfare or something like that.
Sewing?
Yeah.
Cooking?
Oh, yes. I've just finished another quilt. Sewing, yeah, or cooking.
Can you tell us about the quilt you just finished?
Well, it's very pretty. It's the windmill pattern, and everyone I show it to, they say it's very pretty, and it's pansies, the floral fabric, and it's in squares, and it's the windmill pattern.
Will you send us a picture of it so we can show the people who are listening what it looks like?
Oh yeah, I'll send you a photo. I've probably got one on my phone now. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, well, send it to me as soon as we finish recording because I'd like to see it.
Okay.
Is there anything else you'd like to say to all the people listening? Because they love hearing from you.
Oh, I just want to say it's lovely. It's a privilege to come on the program and to share my life with all the people listening. And I've been especially thrilled because we've had some people that listen come to Adelaide, and I've met up with them and they've met me, and that was nice. Yeah.
What do they do? Do they ask you for an autograph or do they want to take a photo? Or what do they do when they meet
They
you?
took photos of me, yeah.
And you don't mind that?
No, not at all. They've come from China, haven't they? And where else? Germany? Yeah, different people have come to church to see Tim. And I said to one young chap, "Oh, you've come over here, to see Tim." "No, I've come over here to meet you, Mrs Hein." And that was lovely, wasn't it? And he took my photo. Yeah, that was lovely.
Tim, how do you feel about how your mum did in the quiz? I think she was amazing.
I think that was incredible. There were a few things there that I didn't know you knew about, and I was somewhat proud. I was glad to be here for your big special moment.
Oh, thank you, Tim.
It's always important to be there for the special moments of members of your family.
Oh, thank you, Tim. Well, I'm just so glad I remembered as much as what I did, because I was very nervous when I came in. I said to Tim, I haven't been so nervous. I never used to be, when we used to do this. I was never nervous. We chatted away. I guess a quiz, I was nervous because I thought, what if I don't know? And that makes me nervous, if I'm asked a question and I don't know.
Mum, I wonder if a wonderful way to end this might be for you to get yours back at Brady by asking him a question. Can you think of a trivia or quiz question to ask Brady and see if you can trip him up?
Okay. Well, what comes to mind? Has your life changed very much since you became a father?
Well, now, hang on, Mum.
That's a tough one.
I don't feel like that's necessarily a trivia question. That's a really good personal question.
All right.
Brady's free to answer it if he wants, but you're not likely to say incorrect, are you?
Oh, okay. So, a question.
You could ask him, like, what's his child's name, and then see if he can remember. Or you might want to try something a little bit harder.
When was it, when you were younger, that you decided, what year was it you decided to do journalism for your life?
That is a good question. I don't know if you'll be able to tell me if I'm right or wrong, but I remember I wanted to be a journalist for as long as I can remember, because my dad was a journalist when I was a little boy, and I think I just wanted to be like my dad. So ever since I was old enough to answer the question from adults, what do you want to be when you grow up? I would always say, I want to be a journalist. So I would say I've wanted to be a journalist since I was probably about 5, 6 years old. And that would be the early 1980s.
Back then.
Can you 5 or 6, man? You need to choose one.
You're not going to give me a year either way.
No. Was it 5 or 6?
I think I was 6.
Mum, is he correct?
Wow, I don't know, do I?
Oh, hang on. We're going to have to go upstairs for this one. Hang on. I'm just talking to someone in my ear.
I have to say, one thing I've realised from this, Tim, is I would love to do a quiz written by your mum.
Okay, we've got. It's been allowed upstairs. That is correct. Brady was 6 when he decided to become a journalist. Good question, Mum.
Do you want to ask me a question, Tim?
Well, I'll go back to, has your life changed since you had a little boy?
Yes, I sleep much less.
Correct.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Hein. That was wonderful. Thank you so much.
Oh, it's lovely to talk with you, Brady. I've got friends that live at the apartment. Can I name them?
In your apartment? What do you mean?
I've got at my apartment where I live.
Oh, in the building. Sorry, yes.
In the building. And they wanted to know where I was going tonight. And I told them. And they said, oh, I'd love to listen to that. So they looked up Unmade podcast. And so they are going to be listening. Can I name them?
Yes?
Helen and Clay.
Correct.
Hello, Helen and Clay. I hope you enjoyed the quiz.
They were very excited that I was going to do this because they're my dear friends.
Oh, Mum, I forgot as well. Also, we need to put a secret word in as well from the girls. The secret. Can you put this? The secret word is pie. Can you put the word pie into a sentence and say it to Brady?
Can I, Mrs. Hein, can I ask you one more quiz question? What is the name of the constant that is used to calculate the circumference of a circle?
Repeat that?
What is the name of the constant that is used to calculate the circumference of a circle?
Say pie.
Oh, pie.
Correct.
Oh, pie.